Hi empaths, welcome to Heart Space Wellness Alliance. Here's my healing room. Let's get started. Hi empaths, welcome back to my healing space. This week I'm experimenting with tuning forks and sound healing instruments in correspondence with my intuitive readings. So let me know how you're enjoying that. Also making the readings a little shorter and digestible, right? So that you have a little bit of healing component and time to reflect at the end for yourself and tune in. So let's start by with A Life Loves You card by Louise Hay and Robert Holden. To see what might be coming up in the collective consciousness here. See what needs our attention and focus. I am lovable. I am lovable. The less I love myself, the harder it is for others to love me. The more I love myself, the easier it is for others to love me and for me to recognize how loved I am. Right? I am lovable. How loving are you being with yourself, right? We need to come from a place of overflowing, and sometimes we don't believe that we're valuable due to circumstances in childhood that left us feeling unworthy, right? Sometimes that's breaking the bond with mother. That can certainly come up, which then leads to mistrust, feelings of rejection, and disconnect from ourselves, from life, from the planet, right? Feeling like an alien, like we don't belong. So what do you need to do to show yourself love and respect? I think respect is a key component here too, because when we don't respect our limitations or our own boundaries, we tend to say yes a lot to people and say no to ourselves, right? And then we don't feel loved because we're not loving ourselves. So the Thief card is coming up, the archetype card. This is from the Archetype Cards by Carolyn Meese. The Thief, the light attributes sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen, right? And if you take a look, there's the heart there. Shadow attributes, stealing money, creative ideas, affection, or other powers you think you lack. So we really help others by tuning into our own worth and showing ourselves love, right? We help those around us too. Let's go to the Alchemical Tarot Renewed by Robert M. Place to see what other cards, what tarot cards want to come through. Shed some light here. The idea that I'm lovable, I'm worthy, that I have inherent value and worth, right? For some reason, this has been distorted. It might involve self-image. How are you seeing yourself? Are you playing small? Are you afraid to take up space? Afraid of your own personal power? Are you comparing yourself to others and seeing, like, maybe even on social media, seeing a cultivated image, right? A curated image of somebody else, and comparing yourself, and that's not really reality, right? And then not feeling worthy yourself. This happens a lot, right? People tend to only put out positive information and experiences about themselves on social media and things like that. And then we look at that and think, I'm not I'm not living up to my potential, and I guess maybe I'm just not as good. But the comparison game is really not a good idea, because we never know what's really happening there. Particularly with regard to partnership, and I'll tell you why cards are coming up for that already. So if you're comparing your own relationship or lack of relationship with others and thinking it's due to this defect or flaw, this reading is a reminder that you are lovable. In fact, you are love. To not give up hope on yourself. And to not go the route of using games and tactics. I believe the Thief card might be coming up because maybe you're thinking, well, I'm going to play the game, right? There are better ways, right, of creating an amazing life where you naturally, oh, cards are falling. You naturally, like one of the things is a tactic might be, delay responses, right? Delay responses to make yourself seem more valuable. Well, how about we just actually have a lot going on that's taking up our time and attention? And then we naturally have that, right? Then we're creating an amazing life for ourselves. Then we naturally have less time, right? We're less available. So it's about how do we naturally create self-respect, right? Because a lot of it is create an illusion that you're confident, or create an illusion that you have abundance or options, things like that. Well, we can also actually make that reality and create that for ourselves. What else wants to come out? Okay. So the two of vessels is what Robert Place, the Alchemical Tarot Renewed. The two of vessels is about partnership. It's about couples meeting, those beginning stages, right? Of finding somebody who you connect with. And so that's why I think all that information came in about, am I worthy? Am I lovable? Don't get tempted to play the games, right? And get into the thief archetype and try to steal someone's heart, basically, by playing these games. This connection, you've probably experienced it many times. It's quite natural, right? There's an affinity, a familiarity between people that we connect with. And the eight of vessels is coming up. And this person, this man is creating his own work. He's refining. He's in the process of creating something original, unique. But he's also has a single focus, right, in the card. He's also so focused on this one thing. So this might be an indication of, and it's an eight card, the number 8, right? So while an 8 is associated with infinity, abundance, right, prosperity. So while there's all this abundance and prosperity and infinite possibilities, there's just one focus, right? The singular focus of, I'm going to make this happen. So maybe there's one person that's getting all of your very valuable attention, and maybe it's not you, right? Maybe it's someone, and this is creating this experience for you, right? Every twist and turn in the story is creating another sense of loss, heartbreak, and maybe this person is playing these games, right? Maybe this person is in the shadow aspect of the thief, right? And trying to sort of use tactics that aren't authentic, aren't real, in order to steal your heart, and it's working, right? And it's working, and you're experiencing all these senses of loss, these ups and downs, this heartbreak, or some kind of betrayal, right? It feels like I've been used. It feels like meanwhile, they may be using these tactics to paint this image of the magician for you. The magician is oftentimes the ideal male, right? This illusion of the ideal partner for a woman, right? And sometimes people that use these player tactics know that, know what to do that. So, and don't feel that they themselves are lovable, right? So they use these tactics due to low self-esteem and you know, past heartbreak themselves, right? That's what it stems from, right? Those people that get into those tactics and things, they've been heartbroken and they want more power and control and don't want to experience that again. It's not like they're bad people. There are some people that say if you're not playing the game, then you're going to lose. But I feel like there's a more genuine, authentic approach, and that is to actually love yourself, to actually respect yourself, to actually have a life that you're working on so that, you know, you don't become like this to one person and fixate, right, and obsess. Because if you do, you know, and they're creating this image of the perfect partner, the perfect person for you. Oh yeah, I believe the same things you do, right? I'm the same kind of person you are. Love bombing, right? And then it creates this feeling of attachment, codependency. This is 8 of Swords. So it's this, another 8, right? So while there is infinite potential, while there's so many possibilities out there, chain to one. One that's just the most interesting, getting our attention, but also giving us this feeling that maybe we're not worthy, we're not good enough. And that's confusing. What's the solution? King of Staffs, getting in touch with your own passion. A new passionate beginning for yourself. What makes you passionate? What makes you come alive? Creating more of that for yourself so that you have a new emotional, can have a new emotional beginning of a state of, right, this is Ace of Vessels. So it's about the water element, which is emotions, and feeling like your relationships with others are an extension of your relationship to self, right? The fruits of, you see the grapes. The grapes are also a symbol of connection, a symbol of feeling like a sense of belonging. You know, like they come in a bunch. So it's like feeling connected, feeling like you're not isolated and alone, which we sometimes do to ourselves when we don't feel lovable or good enough to protect. But this is where we need to start. We need to start here, this emotional, this feeling of emotional stability and self-love, so that other relationships they all already are, right? They're a reflection of our relationship to self, so that they reflect that love of self. So medicine for that is getting in touch with your passion, right? Mastering passion, right? And a remedy for too much water, which is attachment. You know, too much water, an exacerbation of the element of water, the energy of water, right, can be attachment, right? Feeling attached. Particularly to, you know, this image of this ideal. If someone's painting themselves to be that for you. Instead of this kind of bonding in new meetings, to see the potential and know that it's potential, right? It's not the reality of the situation. It's the potential. Knowing that any love you're experiencing is not coming from another person. They're not the source of the love. You are. You're the one feeling it, right? So you are the source there. But what really is going to be medicine for this exacerbation is going to be getting in touch with your fire, getting in touch with passion. So we're going to do that with sound right now. So go ahead and close your eyes and tune in. And during this sound healing meditation, it's going to be brief, but it's just to kind of give a little tune up and give you some time to kind of reflect and see if anything else comes in for you, right? You already have the information. It's just tuning into it, right? There are things that are unknowns that we'll never know. And certainly there's free will always. But you'd be surprised how much inner knowing you actually have. So I want to give you a chance and an opportunity to tune in while enjoying some sound healing. Okay? So close your eyes and get in touch with your breath. And just see how the sound resonates with you. See if any pitches or tones resonate, if you identify with one, if you can find yourself in between intervals, if there's intervals, and just noticing how the sound affects how you're feeling and what you're thinking, and see if any information comes in for you. Okay, and find your way back to the room. Just a brief little sound healing session. With the focus of coming back to a state of self-love and passion. And breaking up any sort of attachments, right? So I hope you enjoyed this, that it was helpful and healing in some way. Share this with anybody you think it might help. And like and subscribe to the channel so I know that this is useful. And please do share any ideas that or suggestions that you'd like videos on. I'm wishing you much love, particularly self-love. All right, I'll see you in the next video, empath.